There's quite a bit of drama around the FTX token, ticker symbol FTT. And that's because CZ, the CEO of Binance, has tweeted that he's going to sell his FTT tokens. So, as part of Binance's exit from FTX equity sale, the company receives 2.1 billion US dollars equivalent in BUSD and FTT. And so then he refers to recent revelations that caused him to start liquidating those tokens. Now, why do I say to start liquidate? Because he expects this to take a few months to complete in order to minimize market impact. Now, what are those revelations? It's being talked about in various CoinDesk articles, but it mainly has to do with a leaked balance sheet. So Alameda Research, the company closely associated with FTX, they own 5.8 billion of FTT tokens, 14.6 billion is their total assets, and 8 billion are their liabilities. And then there's some dubious 7.4 billion in unidentified loans. So there are quite a few articles around this. Feel free to read them. We've got this one over here, Binance to sell rest of FTX token holdings as Alameda Research defends the firm's financial condition. Then we've got here the leaked balance sheet. So divisions in Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto empire Blur on his trading titan Alameda's balance sheet. So if FTX is really here now in a dangerous spot or not isn't that important. What's important is that CZ is going to sell, and he's going to sell pretty massive amounts. Not all of this is FTT tokens, but if it's just half of it, it would still have quite a bit of an impact because currently the market cap is roughly 3 billion. The fully diluted market cap is 8 billion. So CZ selling over here is likely going to cause at least a relative underperformance. Now, if all of crypto is going up, of course, FTT can also go up, right? There is a lot of correlation across different cryptocurrencies. And we very often see how we've got peaks and troughs at the same time, right? Let's look here, for example, at this peak, 11th of September of 2021. Let's look at Ethereum at the same time, also relatively highly valued. And let's look at the 19th of June, low in Ethereum. Let's look at FTX, also comparatively low. So there is some kind of correlation here. And of course, if Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, FTX is likely going to go up as well. But what's not that obvious is where relative prices will go. So what we can do is, instead of just looking at the US dollar price, let's look at the FTT token relative to Ethereum. And here we've got really a trading range, right? Something that's not so much impacted by general market conditions. Sometimes FTT expensive, sometimes Ethereum is expensive. And these ranges are pretty massive, right? This is a drop of roughly 60%. This is an outperformance of 160%. So what makes sense here, in my opinion, is to not just bet on the FTT US dollar price to go down because of CZ's selling. What I think makes more sense is to actually bet on FTT relative to Bitcoin or on FTT relative to Ethereum to decline, because then we are kind of like at least reducing the general crypto impact, right? If the general market goes down, both FTT and Ethereum go down and the relative valuation wouldn't change much. But when there's more supply of a particular token versus another one, then that particular token's relative valuation might go down. And you can actually profit from this. You can profit from relative valuations. You don't have to bet on the US dollar price going down. You can bet on the Ethereum price going down. And the way you do this is through decentralized borrowing and lending. So there is a platform called Solend. So that's a Solana-based decentralized borrowing and lending platform. And you might know that FTX and Solana have a pretty close tie. So the only way to really borrow this FTX token in order to make money on falling prices is to go on a Solana-based DEX. You want to go to solend.fi. Let me show you here the URL. You go over here and then you deposit whatever kind of collateral you want to hold long term. So be this Bitcoin, be this a stable coin, whatever you like to hold over the long term, you can simply just deposit here. And with that deposit, you then have the ability to borrow against this. You can borrow the token that you're bearish on. You can see here the borrow APY, as in how much does it actually cost to borrow a token. So if you're bearish on, for example, the Radium token, you can borrow that for 15% per annum. If you're bearish on FTT, right, the FTX token, you can borrow this for 11%, right? We click over here, borrow, 11.67% is the borrow APR. So that's what you have to pay. Now, once you have borrowed the token, you have to swap it. You have to swap it for something where you want to bet on the relative outperformance. So let's say you think that FTT is going to especially perform badly versus Ethereum. Then you would take these FTT tokens, you take the tokens that you've borrowed here, you swap them for Ethereum, and what you then do is you also deposit that Ethereum on Solend again, simply to have again enough collateral, right? You don't want that the price fluctuations in the end, when the short term goes against you, put you in a liquidated position. Okay, so you don't want to get liquidated. So that's how you could profit from this. And I think this actually makes sense as a setup, because you can basically front run this, right? You can basically short the FTT token before all the supply by CZ hits the market. Now, there is a bit of a catch here. There is a bit of a risk with all of this, because who knows really how low the price will in the end go on those decentralized exchanges, because we already got this offer for these tokens to be bought by $22 a piece. And currently we are at $21.97. Now we exactly went to 22. So maybe we simply just gonna stay at this level for a while. A lot of this is still speculation. How serious is that offer really? But that's the current situation around all of this, right? Quite a bit of drama. FTX obviously doesn't want their token to go down. CZ wants to hedge the risk. He's even referring here to the Luna collapse somewhere. Not in this tweet, I think, but in another one. So he simply wants to get out, but he also doesn't want to destroy the entire ecosystem, the entire industry, right? He mentions here, our industry is in its nascency, and every time a project publicly fails, it hurts every user and every platform. So obviously he doesn't want to destroy FTX and Alameda Research by this move. So that's the current situation. Do the trades at your own risk, do your own research, and this is obviously a news-driven trade, right? So stay very much up to date, follow all the Twitter accounts, and then decide accordingly if you want to actually bet on falling relative prices of FTT, or if you rather stay away. Looking forward to your input in the comments. I'm trying to answer every comment that's not a bot. And if you're wondering what kind of things I currently trade, there is the premium membership. Feel free to check that out. That's thebitcoinstrategy.com, the link down here. There's also a free Telegram group that's over here, right? Bitcoin Strategy channel. Simply just search for that. Looking forward to see you there. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.